That's a lie. What else is there to see? ROROTOT. Channeled from Dimension 1, Universe 1. Before the beginning of time, consciousness dwelled in a field of probability. Whenever there was a perplexing continuum or darkness, there was a need to create time and events, but the product of the loop of creation being broken was a non-representative factor for the primordial entity that existed before then. Complex life hadn't existed back then, so conscious life was very intermediating. Jayod created the universatron from quantum space with Penidlakot, his counterpart. Precluding the perfect prolongation of balance percolation, the number of quanta tessellation in space, Jayod erupted the world from the root, causing the percolation into the universatron, and the universatron, to find space, in the end game, for the mintron. Penidlakot's powers were penetrative, through the mushes of irrelati, and the direct concatenation of mintrons in the mediant speed dial. If modals and primes of intricate irradiation were to emanate the biceratops. When Nano was Ya, interim of the Beyonders, there was need for death between the cosmic realms of certainties and uncertainties of which the realms of infinity and eternity were between, to bequeath the ancient primordial Avery. Mas Ravenhoth, Earth God, was a lane in the world of sanity's sentinels. So, nothing made up by the mintron was corrupt, or off infinite possibilities and impossibilities. Those who were under an average of the mark of the mass in the mind of the universatron, who was to build, the man Jablo Oblo, the creator of the quantum eye, thus, were to come around, and blow out the mintron's creation. In the end, resurrection was not the answer for Jiz, who created the world, and loved it from start to finish but was not annotated to the cosine. Thus was the case of the vector probability variable, as it was a derivative of the function of Penidlakot. Although Jayod, the inter of summons, began to murmur Dweomers, not outwitting the system of yesterday, quantum memories began to coincide with Megatron, who had the reciprotron made with his mintron. Obviously, things began to get worse, because of the negative ascendancy and decline of the sanity and despondency. No wonder the precedence of quantum I-core made the demonstration of the classical ways. Most probabilities became the rotation of axles and the axolotl turtle's axial tilt which created our hero ROROTOT. Erroneous was the rings of Soren's death, which made the cause for Soren's searching for the mystic force or, the cause of the war, is foretold and fulfilled. Jablo Oblo, without seeing Sauron, incarnated the eye, thus, ensuring the wrath of the mind of the median. Was the man Moses to cross the Red Sea, the power of the staff of the living tribunal will have to be instilled. So, since Jayod and Penidlakot were the final entities of quantum entanglement time, they were to transcend the multiverse, to prolong its expansion. By this time, the man known as Abdamidala was dead, and his soul had absolved into the Phantom X quantum galaxy. But knowing the man Jablo Oblo very well, the mintron conceded to errand ROROTOT, defender of the galaxy, to quantize the eye of the universatron. The probabilities had been finalized by Jiz by that time, and thus the universatron activated the shield of protection for the multiverse, which by that time was in the atomic states of shredded nature into the complex darkons and photons governed by gravitons and spatial particles. Nevertheless, ROROTOT had the powers be, never failed to deliver or accomplish the end, however the Omega was a gap, that may never be breached even by an immortal primordial. Nevertheless, this was not approved by the Holy Trinity, which was then the tribunal, and would not antagonize the Omni-Force.